Hello everybody, welcome to another home workout recorded live at Rex's gym. Today's a sweat track. We are trying to get sweaty today. I hope you're ready. Let's get started with our walks. High knees to start with. So this session kind of builds on what we did last week on the Monday. But if you didn't do last Monday's workout, don't worry, you will be fine doing today's. As always with our walks, we're gonna go for about 6 to 8 each side. And then we're gonna switch over into our quad walks. Heel to butt. All you have to do is hold for a count of 1,000. Stay nice and tall. Try to keep those knees in position. We don't want the up knee to go out. We don't want it to go back. We want it to stay in position and keep your stomach strong too. After about 6 or 8, we'll go into our cradle walks. Lift the ankle up, gently push the knee down, and keep that foot about a foot length away from your body. Just trying to warm up the hips. Just trying to get the body ready for the punishment we're going to instill. Next up is the hinges. So reach and come back up. Reach and come back up. Want to feel the stance legs hamstring, and then use that hamstring and use the butt to pull yourself to a tall position again. Think about reaching your fingertips and your heel as far away from each other as you can. And then we'll finish up with some lunges. Now remember, you can do forward stepping, you can do backward stepping as well, if that feels better for you. It's up to you, whatever feels best on your body. Now before we're going to get into our main workout, we have a prep circuit, which means a little bit of core, a little bit of hip activation. Now for this prep circuit, if you have best way to describe it is a booty band, you can definitely put it on and use it. But if you don't have one, that's fine. It is not a requirement for this circuit. 2 exercises. We have a plank reach, 5 each side. So we're going to be in a plank position. You're going to reach one hand out, bring it back. Make sure the hips stay nice and even. We don't want any rolling happening throughout the body. 5 each side. And after that we have side plank clamshells, also 5 each side with a 2 count hold at the top. I'll just show you that one when we get to it. So let's get a better view of the ground here. That ought to do it. Starting in our planks, we have 2 rounds of this, by the way. So nothing too horrendous. We're just trying to activate the core and the hips. Plank position. Lock the hips in, reach, and switch. When you've done 5 each side, we're going to a kneeling side plank position. Lift the hips up nice and high and push them forward. From there, you're gonna open up, hold for 1, 2, and come back down. Open and come back down. Also for 5 each side. Move controlled. Actively try to squeeze that hip, so the side of the butt is really where we're trying to feel this here. Let's switch sides. So, elbow directly underneath the shoulder, lift the hips up and forward, and then Keep the feet on top of each other, but actively bring that knee up. Hold for 1, 2. Five reps on the one side, 5 reps on the other side. If you feel you need a little rest, you can. Otherwise, just straight back into your plank reaches. Now be very careful that we're not just swinging our way through this. The idea is to lock that body in. Feet wider makes it easier. Feet close together makes it harder. But the one thing we're after is keeping the hips still. And the second round of our climb shells. Be aware of any sort of left-right difference you feel in these prep exercises. If one side of the plank reach is really tough and the other side is a lot easier, you have a bit of an imbalance. It'll be good to address that before the imbalance becomes an injury. All right, so that's our little prep circuit, not designed to annihilate, but designed to activate. We have 2 main circuits today. Both are more cardio based than strength based. Tomorrow is our strong track, today is our sweat track. We have a front to back lunge, which means we're gonna lunge forward, immediately lunge backward. We're gonna have 10 on the one side and then 10 on the other side. So forward, back is 1, repeat for 10 on the right, 10 on the left. Then we're gonna get into a push-up position, do shoulder taps. Keep the hips still again. Again, the wider the feet, easier it gets, the narrower the feet, the harder it gets. This isn't meant to be super fast. We're not just trying to tap super fast, we're after using the core. And don't worry, you will get out of breath in this circuit. Third exercise, back on your feet for prisoner squats. Hands behind your head, elbows back, sink down, drive back up. 20 repetitions. And then we have a side plank leg lift. Now you can absolutely do this one on the knees, or you can go on the toes. Make sure the hips, shoulders stay stacked, lift and touch. 10 on the one side, 10 on the other side. So we have 4 rounds of this, and we'll try to do this with as few rests as we can. So just work through it. Front to back lunge, 10 each side. Shoulder taps, 10 each side. Prisoner squats, 20 reps. Side plank leg lifts, 10 each side, 4 rounds. You should see that superimposed over my face, which is a waste of my face, really. Come on. This is the money maker right here. It's not for time, it's still for quality. So we're not trying to beat anybody else. It's not a competition, it's a training session. But if you're ready, I'll join in and we'll get started with the first round. So starting with those front to back lunges, 10 each side. I'll count with you. 1, 2. Keep those hips nice and still. 3. That's why I like to have my hands here. 4. So I know when I'm swaying from side to side. 5. 6. 10. Push-up position. Control it. That's 5. And 10. Into our prisoner squats. Keep those feet nice and stable. Knees out, chest up. Side plank, leg lifts. So option 1, do it on the knees, similar to that clamshell, but now your feet are coming off, or your foot is coming off the other foot as well. Option 2 is the full version, a lot harder. Keep those hips up. You don't have to lift your leg very far. So that's 1 round. If you feel you need a rest, take a rest. Nothing wrong with that. But we want to keep the body from coming to a full recovery today. We want to kind of keep working. Now those lunges, we'll start with our round 2. If you don't feel comfortable going all the way down, stay a little bit higher. Absolutely fine. Use the range of motion that you have, and then hopefully we can build it over time. If you feel comfortable going all the way down, go all the way down. I lost count, but we'll do a few more. And then be aware of your left-right differences. If you feel like you can get further on one side than the other side, or it's easier to keep your hips nice and level on one side compared to the other side. You have an imbalance. Be good to fix up that imbalance if we can. Shoulder taps. Prisoner squats. Into our side plank leg lifts. Now if we just keep coupling those exercises together, minimizing our rest, you should feel you're getting a little bit out of breath. maybe, just maybe, a solitary bead of sweat is already rolling down your brow. That's 2. Halfway through already. 2 to go. And switch sides. Remember, do the range of motion you can do pain-free. Is there pain is a yes or no question. If there is, not really, but it feels a little bit, then the answer is yes, there's pain. Hip still, shoulder still, one side, other side. Now you can absolutely do this on your knees as well. If you find you cannot keep your hips still, you can be here if that really helps you keep the hips still. I'd much rather you do this one and do it well than do it on the toes and have that sway from side to side. Into our side plank. Coming to the end of round 3, guys. Should get a good idea of which options are the options for you and which are a little bit too easy or a bit too hard. Remember, we're not trying to move super fast on any of the individual exercises. That defeats our purpose. The purpose is to work hard, get a good workout in. If we're trying to rush through this, kind of just flop our leg up and down, tap super fast, we're not getting that training stimulus that we're after. Last round, guys, let's get it. Shoulder taps. Pick your option. Hips still, feet as wide as you need them to be. Last set of squats, 20 of them. And then finish it off in the side plank. All right, that was circuit number 1. I definitely got a bit of a sweat up. Have a drink, mine's over there. Now, if you're still going with your first circuit, pause the video and jump into it when you're done. If you're ready to go on with me, I'll talk you through it. Exercise 1. We have a hinge, hands behind your head or crossed over the chest, and the hinge is just that movement where we push the hips back, keep the spine nice and tall. Yeah. However, we are going to add a side step. So either here or here, step to the side hinge, step back. Side hinge, step back. 10 one side, 10 the other side for 20 in total. If you have dumbbells, kettlebells, you can absolutely use that. Hold the kettlebell or dumbbell up here. Both legs should remain fairly straight. It is not that exercise where we sink in. It's not a lunge, it's a hinge, but from the side step. Second, leg lowers. Let's lie down, legs up, push that lower back into the ground, hold it there, one leg, other leg. It's easier with your hands underneath your butt. If you don't have to, try not to. After that we go to crossbody mountain climbers. Now what that means is we'll be in a push-up position. The left knee is going to come towards the right elbow and vice versa. So as you can see, my body is doing a twist. I want that twist. So this is not a crossbody mountain climber. See how my body's staying straight? That's what I want. I'm gonna use that rotation to make this a lot harder. After that, we have switch jumps. Now, you can go for almost a scissor hop and stay very high. You can go for a halfway scissor jump, or you can go for a full switch jump, which is knee as close to the ground as you can. Don't violently bang your kneecap into the ground. There's a difference between a gentle touch or just staying off the ground and violently ramming your patella into some concrete. One is a good idea, one is not a good idea. And from here, switch over. So pick your option. That is going to spike the heart rate. So again, side step hinges, leg lowers, we have the crossbody mountain climbers, and we have the switch jump. All are 10 each side, and we're going to do that for 4 rounds. If you're ready, let's get cracking. option. Hands behind your head. Get the weight further away from the hips. Makes it harder. Target area here, hamstrings, glutes, and abs, because we don't want that back to hyperextend as we come up. Get to lie down. Again, don't rush these. If anything, take your time. Feel what that lower back is doing. Crossbody mountain climbers are next. Quick word on those leg lowers. If you feel it in your lower back, you're doing it wrong. It should be here. If you feel it in your lower back, shorten the range of motion until you cannot feel it in the lower back. Just the switch jumps to go. So remember your options. First round, I'll do the easiest option with you. Stay high, but I do want you in that split squat position, that sort of width, and then switch over. 1, 2, 3. Land softly. Good. 1 round down. Now, let us grab a little weight for our side step hinges. Now, whenever you add a weight to any movement, still ask yourself, can you feel it in the right spots? If all of a sudden that went from my hamstring to my lower back, the weight is not a good option for me. Just that awareness, guys. Just know what you're doing. Pay attention to the old body. I feel those in my abs. I hope you do too. Crossbody mountain climbers. Keep that whole body rotating. And the switch jumps. Again, pick your option. I'll do the halfway option now. So halfway down. All right, 2 rounds in, 2 to go. Assess for yourself if you were using the weight. Did it still feel in the hamstring? If so, keep going. If not, go for the easier option. And those leg lowers. Now, a different way of tailoring this exercise for you, if you have trouble feeling those abs when it gets harder, is bending your legs. Work from here and just focus on keep those hips and ribs connected to each other without allowing that lower back to arch off the ground. Find the right option for you. That's what we're trying to do. Tailoring this workout so that you can get the best results from it. Crossbody. You should feel these crossbodies are different than normal mountain climbers. A lot more core. Hopefully you feel the sides of the core a bit more. Switch jumps. I'll go for the full option, so the knee almost touching the ground or gently touching the ground. This is gonna get sweaty real quick. Whew. Okay. Into our last round, guys. Keep the rests to a relative minimum. Not an absolute minimum. It's fine to catch your breath a little bit and have a drink. Just keep that heart rate up. Leg lowers, tailor them to you. Make sure you keep relaxing your neck
as well. If you feel tension in the neck, something's going wrong. Those crossbody mountain climbers. Let's finish this strong, guys. Only 2 little exercises to go before we stretch. Switch jumps, tailor them to you. What is your best option today? Good job, guys. If you're still going, just pause the video now and we'll stretch together when you're ready. If you're waiting for me, apologies for holding you back. We are going to start with a couch stretch. So, on a couch or a bench or a chair or anything elevated. 1 foot, shoelaces down on the bench. Bring that knee down to the ground. Push your hips back to your heel and breathe. Now, like I said, that was one of our sweat tracks. Tomorrow will be a strong track, so we're gonna take more rest and really try to challenge the muscles, not necessarily just the lungs. There's always going to be overlap, right? So when we do a sweat track, your muscles are going to be working. That's how you produce warmth. Science. But it's where do we lie the emphasis? Let's switch sides. Be aware of that left-right difference if you have it. If one side feels very restricted here, or on one side you just cannot feel a stretch. Those imbalances are the #1 drivers of injuries, so we're going to try to limit them as much as we can. And don't worry, you'll never limit them all the way. It's just not how the body works. You are asymmetrical as a being, and that's okay. I still think you're quite all right. But yeah, if your right hip is super comfortable here, your left hip was incredibly tight, something is pulling you out of whack, it would be a good idea to address it now before the doctor has to address it when it cuts you open to give you a new hip. Spreads it. Now, if you're like me and not super flexible, prop your hands up behind you and push your chest forward. I don't want you to round forward on this one, guys. It does nothing to add the stretch. Or if you're one of those flexible people, first of all, no one likes you. That's a lie. I still like you. And you can just roll forward. Just be very wary that we're not trying to drop the chest down. We're trying to move the chest forward. We're still working that hinge from the hips, not a rounding of the back. And last but not least, we'll do a tricep stretch. So I want the hand between the shoulder blades, pull the elbow behind you. You can lean over a little bit, just find a spot you feel the bestest stretch.
switch to the other side.
All right, guys, now, very important announcement. You are an absolute legend, just so you know. All right, well done. I will see you tomorrow for another fun workout. Any questions about any of the exercises or any problems, shoot me a message. I'm here all week.